Hello and welcome to Data Detectives. In this video, we are going to start the top interview questions in SQL with the real world examples. First of all, we will see the beginner level questions and also some theoretical concepts related to beginner level questions. For the purpose of this interview question series, I have imported a Superstore database that consists of 5 tables. So first of all, I have created a database which is named Superstore 1. Okay, then we have used Superstore one database and created imported 5 tables. That is, one is the market table, then we have the customer table, then we have the category table, then we have the orders table, then we have the shipping table. Okay, and also we have pre-processed and clean our data so as to use this database for our scenario based interview questions. Okay, so first of all, let's see how our database tables looks like. What are the columns that it consists of? Okay, so let me import the description of all the columns that we will see in our tables so as to get familiarized before attempting the questions. Okay, so yes, so these are the tables. First of all, we have the customer tables that consists of the details of all the customers. Okay, so it consists of customer name, which is a text which consists of the name of the customer. Then it has province, then it has region of the customer, then it has customer segment, which segment does the customer belongs to, and then we have cust id, which is a unique customer id. Then we have a market, which consists of details of every order item sold. Okay, it consists of order id, it consists of product id, it consists of ship id, it consists of customer id, it consists of discount, it consists of sales, order quantity, profit, what is the shipping cost, and what is the product base margin. So it gives the project base margin on the item sold. Okay, next we have orders. So in orders table, it consists of the details of every order placed. So it consists of order id, which is a unique id. Okay, this is the unique order id. Then we have order priority, what is the priority of the order, whether it is high, low or medium, we will see in the questions. Then we have order date. So I have already changed the data type of order date to date data type. Then we have the order id, which is the id for these orders. Okay, then we have the category table. It describes the product category and what is the product subcategory it belongs to. So product category is a text data type, so it consists of the categories of the product and also the subcategory. Then we have the unique product id. This is the primary key for this table. Then we have the shipping details. It will be giving the details of the shippings of all the orders. So it will consist of order id, then it will consist of ship mode, what is the shipping mode, then it consists of the ship date, what is the shipping date, and then it consists of the ship id, which is the unique shipment id. Okay, so now let's see, start with the questions that we have that we can face in an interview. So first question is, okay, so the first question is, what is ddl, dml, dcl and tcl languages? Okay, so first of all, let's see what is a ddl language. So ddl language stands for data definition language. Okay, so ddl deals with the defining and managing the structure of a database and its object. So the keyword to remember is ddl deals with the defining and managing the structure. Okay, this is the important point to remember for this ddl statement. It is used to create, we can create the database, we can modify the database, and also we can delete the database objects like tables, indexes, views and schemas. Okay, and the common ddl commands include create, alter, and drop statement. Okay, so the create table creates a new table. It's very well known. Alter table, it will modify the structure of an existing table. Okay, this is important. And then it's the drop table, it deletes the table from a database. Okay, next question, next part is, what is DML? So DML stands for data manipulation language. So DML is used for manipulating and interacting with the data. Okay, it doesn't change the structure of the data as in the DDL statement. It is used for manipulating and interacting with the data. So this is the keyword that is important to remember for DML languages. It includes command that perform operations like inserting. We can insert the data, we can update the data, we can either delete the data also, and we can also retrieve data from the tables, okay, using the select statement. So what are the common DML statements that we look is, we have insert, then we have update, then we have delete statement, then we have select statement. So insert into is used to add new rows into the table. Okay, then we have the update table, that uses to modify the existing data in the table. Okay, it is used to modify the existing data in the table. Delete is used to remove the rows, and select is used to retrieve data from one or more tables. Next we can see is DCL. Okay, so DCL stands for data control language, and it is concerned with the access control and the permissions on the database objects. So this is the important thing that is need to remember, that is required to be remembered for DCL. This is the main keyword. It is used with access control and the permissions. Okay, it manages the rights and the privileges of the user. So this is also important. It manages the rights and privileges of the user to access, modify, perform operations on the data in a database. Okay, so the common DCL statements are grant, revoke, and deny. Okay, so it's very well understood that grant will give the specific privileges to the users or roles. Revoke will revoke the previously given privileges or previously granted privileges, and deny will prevent the users or roles from performing certain actions. Okay, now let's see what is TCL. So TCL stands for Transaction Control Language, and it is used to manage the transactions within the database. Okay, it allows control over the transactions beginning, ending, and committing, and rolling back changes made during a transaction. So this is the keyword that is required to be remembered. That is, it controls over the transactions beginnings, endings, and rolling back changes. Okay, so the common commands that is included in TCL are commit, rollback, and save point. So commit is used to save the changes made during a transaction. Rollback is used to revert the changes made during the transaction, and save point is used to set a point within a transaction to which the transaction can be rolled back. Okay, now let's move to the next question. So the next question that we will see is, what is the difference between the delete versus truncate versus drop statements? So these three statements are used to delete objects from the table. Okay, but what are the differences in these statements is, the drop statement is used to delete the entire table from the database. So the important thing that is need to be remembered regarding the drop statement is, it deletes the entire table from the database. First point is this. Then it removes both the table structure and all the data contained within it. So it will remove the table structure also, and it will remove the data also. This is the second point that is required to be remembered for the draw statement. Okay, then once the table is dropped, all the data is permanently lost. As it is a DDL statement, it will change the structure of the table, so all the data will be permanently lost. Okay, now second is truncate statement. Truncate statement is used to remove all the data from the table, but retains the table structure. So this is the important part to be remembered, that is, it retains the table structure, however it removes all the data from the table. This point differentiates the truncate statement from the drop statement, because in the drop statement the structure is also removed, but in the truncate statement the data is only removed. Okay. Now second point is, it is faster than the delete statement. Why it is faster than the delete statement, we will see when we discuss the delete statement, but for the purpose of truncate statement we can say that because it doesn't log individual row deletions. Okay, it completely deletes all the data from the table, so it is not performing any deletion row by row. Okay. And like the drop statement, truncate also remove data permanently. Okay. So this is also a DDL statement, therefore it removes all the data, so it will remove the data permanently. Okay. Now let's see the delete statement. So delete statement is used to remove specific rows from the table based on the condition or without any condition. So the main keyword that is required to be remembered is, we have to delete statement is used to remove the specific rows from the table. Okay, it doesn't remove all the data from the table, it removes some specific rows based on some conditions that will give in our query, or it can be without any condition. So this is the differentiator between the truncate statement and the delete statement and the drop statement. Okay. And what is one more difference between delete and truncate is that delete statement is a row based operation, because we are deleting some specific rows from the data based on the condition, therefore it can be slower than truncate. Okay, so that's why it can be slower than truncate when deleting a large number of rows, since it logs individual row deletions. Okay. One more difference that is between the delete statement and truncate and drop statement is, it doesn't remove the table structure. Okay, it doesn't changes the table structure. Uh, and the table remains in the database after the operation. So we can understand that it doesn't change the table structure, therefore the table still remains in the database after the operation. And fourth point is, deleted rows can be rolled back if the operation is a part of the transaction. Okay, so the deleted row can be rolled back, can be retrieved if that operation is a part of the transaction. So this is the difference between the delete statement, the truncate statement, and the drop statement. Now the third question is, what is the order of execution of statements in SQL? So to understand this to understand this hierarchy, let's take one example. So what example we are going to take is, let's write one query which will be select, and we will be summing the sales from a table. Okay, so let's write one table from let's say the table name is also sales. Now here we will give one where condition, so it can be any condition on which we are summing the sales. Now let's write group by, we are grouping the sales by category. Okay, so here we can write the category, and we are grouping the sales by category. So let's write category also. Then we are again putting some condition on the aggregation by the having clause. Then we are ordering the table either in descending order or on the ascending order, depends on the question. Let's say we are here ordering the table on the basis of sales in descending order. So we will write DESC, which is the short form for the descending, and we are limiting the display of the rows for only 5. So we will see the top 5 sales categories in the descending order. Now to understand the hierarchy, first of all what happens is, the SQL will check the sales table. So first of all the sales table will be selected, therefore it has number one hierarchy in the execution of the statement. Then what it will execute, it will execute where statement. So it will filter out the table based on some conditions. Whatever condition we will give, it will filter out the table on that condition. Then the third statement that will be executed is the group by statement. So then it will perform some aggregation, okay, on the basis of the condition that we give. For this example, we have given category as a condition, so it will group all the sales, it will aggregate all the sales and sum it up on the basis of category, okay. Then it will put some condition on the group by table that has been generated by using having clause. So it has fourth number in the execution, okay. After these four statements, then it will select these two columns for display. So it will select the sum of the sales and it will select the category. So this has the fifth number in the order of execution of statements. Then it will come to the order by, okay. Then it will order by the statement or arrange the rows of the table on the basis of their descending order or the ascending order. Here we are given descending order, so it will arrange all the rows on the basis of descending order in the sum of the sales. And the last statement that will be executed is the limit statement. So limit statement, what will do is that it will show only 5 rows that has been selected, or that has been selected from the table sales, okay. And it will show only the top 5 rows, okay. So this is the order of the execution of statements in SQL. So first is from, then we have where, then we have group by, then we have having, then we have select, then we have order by, and then we have limit, okay. Now the next question that we'll see is, so let's erase this. Now we will see the scenario based questions on our table Superstore, okay, on our database Superstore. So the first question that we have to do is write a query to select all the data from the tables, okay. So what is required to be done is that we have to select all the data from the table. For this purpose, for the purpose of this query, the hint is we have to use the select statement. So I hope you know what is a select statement. So let's move to the SQL interface. So select statement is used to retrieve data from one or more tables in a database, okay. It allows you to specify the columns you want to retrieve, okay, and the tables from which to fetch the data and any conditions to filter out the results, okay. So the select statement involves two things, that is select what are the rows or what are the columns that we need to select and from which table we are going to select it. So for the purpose of this question, we are selecting everything. So we will use star wildcard and we will give the name of our table. We know the table name is market. So the first table that we are going to see is the market table. Let's run this. So this is the table. uh, it consists of order id, product id, ship id, cost id, sales, discount, order quantity, profit, shipping cost, and product base margin. Similarly, we can select all the data from all the tables. Let's select the data from the table customer. So let's run this. Select star from customer. So it is giving all the data from the customer table. Now let's select star from orders table. So it will give all the data from the orders table. It consists of order id, order date, order priority, as well as the unique order id, okay. Now let's move to next select statement. So let's select star from our category table. So the category gives the category and the product subcategory for all the products. So this is the table. This consists of product category, it consists of the product subcategory, and this is the product id, which is unique. So we can see there are number of categories and the subcategories. Now select star from, select star from shipping. So shipping will give the shipping details for all, will give the shipping details. So let's see the shipping details. It consists of order id, ship mode, ship date, and ship id. Okay, so these are the select statements that is being used to retrieve all the data from our database. Okay, now let's move to the next question. We have completed this question. Now let's move to the next question, which is write a query to display the customer name and the customer underscore segment. So this is a customer underscore name and customer underscore segment using alias name. We have to remember this point, using alias name, customer name, and customer segment from the table customer. So here what we are going to do is we have to give these columns a alias name. And how we are going to do this? We will use the as keyword that is available, in SQL. Okay, so the hint for this question is we have to use the as keyword. So you can try and then you can see the solution. So alias is a temporary name given to a table or a column. So if we want to first understand what is alias, so it is a temporary name given to a table or a column in a query. Okay, it provides a way to rename a table or columns in a result set of a query. Okay, so it provides a way to rename the table or columns in a result set of the query, making it easier to read and understand the output. So the syntax of as is very simple. We have to write select statement as we are writing already. Then when if we are changing the column name, we have to give the column name and we have to use as keyword, and we can write the uh, required name. Suppose if we are changing customer underscore name to customer name, then we have to write here customer underscore name and as customer name, uh, to change, to give this column an alias name. And also if we want to change the table name, we can write the table name, and here also we can write as table new name. Okay, so now let's attempt the question. So this is the MySQL workbench, and we have to give the alias names to customer name and customer segment. So let's start with select statement. So select statement, and we have customer underscore name, and here we will use as keyword, and we have to give customer space name, as there is a space between customer and name. That's why we are using inverted commas to consider it as a one. And also customer segment as, here also we will write the alias name in the inverted commas. Customer segment is the alias name for customer underscore segment, and we are retrieving this column from customer table. Okay, now let's run this query. So here we have changed the customer name and the customer segment as alias provided in the question. Okay, now let's see the next question. So the next question is write a query to get the order id, order date from the table orders where order priority is high. Okay, so the keyword that is important to attempt this question is, first of all we have to select only order id column and order date column, and from the tables order we have to retrieve these details. However, there is one condition that we have to put is that order priority should be high. So here we are going to use the hint for this question is, here we are going to use the where statement. So what is where statement? So where statement is used in a select statement to filter out the rows retrieved from a table based on specified condition. So here where statement is used to filter the rows based on some specific condition, based on some specific condition. Okay, so what is the syntax for this? We have to as usual, what is the syntax is we have to use the select statement. Okay, and we will give the columns that is required, then we will use the from where we are going to retrieve our data. Here we will give the table name, and then we will use the where statement where we will give our this required condition. Now let's see this in the workbench, and let's select the order id. We as we want order id column, we want order date, and this will be selected from orders table. And here we will give a condition that order priority should be high. Okay, here we have given the order priority should be high. Let's run this query, and here we can see that these are the orders that have the order priority as high. If we want to recheck, we can add the order priority column also, so that we can see that whether these orders are of order priority high or not. So if we add order priority also, here we can see that all these orders are of priority high. Okay, so this is the way to attempt the questions on the where statement. Now let's see another question, that is what is the number of distinct regions in the customer segment. Okay, in the customer data set. So here the hint for this question is we have to use the distinct keyword. The hint for this question is we have to use distinct statement. So what is distinct statement? So distinct statement or keyword is used with the select statement and is used to retrieve the unique values from the column or a combination of columns in a table. So what is distinct? Distinct is used to retrieve the unique values from a column or a combination of column. So what it do is it eliminates the duplicate rows. It eliminates the duplicate rows. Okay, and what is the syntax? Syntax is very simple. Before the column we have to use the distinct keyword for which we want the distinct values. So here we will select distinct, and here we will give the column name, and we will here give the from table. Okay, this is the syntax. So let's attempt this question in the workbench. So we have to find the distinct regions, so we will write select, and now we will give the distinct keyword. This is the distinct keyword, and let's give the region column for which we want the distinct values, and here we will give the from table name. So the table name is customer. So let's run this. So here we can see that these are the distinct regions: Northwest Territories, Atlantic, Prairie, West, Ontario, and else. Okay, we can count the number of distinct regions also by using the aggregation statement, that is count. So the example for that we will see later on. Okay, here we just want to see the distinct regions. So these are the distinct regions from the customer table. Now let's move to another question. These are the beginner level questions, so as to familiarize with the SQL statements so that we can attempt the intermediate as well as the advanced questions also. Sometimes in interview the interview start with the basic questions only, so we should know the basic concepts also. Now there is another question, that is write a query for customers in Ontario for home office customer segment. So what this question requires is, we need to give two conditions. First condition is we have to select the customers that live in the region Ontario. Okay, and for the second, the customer segment should be home office. Okay, so we have to give two statements to be checked in the where clause. Okay, so we have to use the logical operators in the SQL queries. What are the logical operators in the SQL queries? We have and, we have and, we have or, and we have not. Okay, so and logical operator is used to combine two and more conditions, and it will retrieve rows that satisfy all the specified conditions. So here the keyword is all the conditions should be satisfied. Okay, in the or condition, at least one of the condition should be satisfied. Okay, here we need at least one should be satisfied. And not statement is used to negate the condition, so it negates the condition. Okay, so how it negates the condition? It will retrieve rows that do not specify a specified condition. Okay, so it will retrieve those rows that do not satisfy the condition. Okay, so it can be any condition. Okay, however for this question the hint is we have to use the and logical operator. So these are the logical operators, and these are the logical operators, and we have to use the and logical operator to satisfy both the conditions, that is the customer should be from Ontario and the customer segment should be home office. So let's see, you can attempt the question and then see the solution. So let's move to this solution, and what we are going to do is we have to select all the data. So we will give select star, star is the keyword to select all the data. Next we will give customer table because we want to retrieve the details from the customer table, and here we will give province. We need province equals to Ontario, and here we will specify and logical operator, and here we will give customer underscore segment. Customer underscore segment should be what? Home office. So here we will give home office. So this is the conditions, two conditions that needs to be satisfied for this query. So here we can see that the customer name, province, region, customer segment, and cust ID is Ontario and home office only. Okay, this is all the data that is required for this query. So here we understood how the logical operators work. Now let's move to another question, that is write a query to find all the details of the customer from the table customer order and order it by descending order. Okay, so the hint for this question is we have to use order by statement. Okay, either we can use in descending order or we can use in ascending order. So you can try to attempt the question and later on see the solution. So we know that order by statement is used to sort the result of the query based on one or more columns. We can give one column also, we can give two columns also, we can give number of columns. So it arranges the table or the data set that is retrieved from the query either in ascending order or in descending order. Okay, so let's attempt this question as we now knew what a order by statement perform is. So here in this question we have to fetch all the details of the customer table of the customer from the table customer and order it in descending order. So let's select star as we are selecting all the data, and here we will give customer And now let's order by, how we are going to order it? We are going to order it by cust id. So here we will give cust id and we will arrange in the descending order. So here we can see that there are 1832 cust IDs. So for this result, all the details have been arranged in the descending order. Here we can see that first row is Mick Brown, which has the cust ID of 1832. Then we have 1831, 1830, and so on. So the details has been sorted in the descending order. We can arrange the same in ascending order also by just removing the cust ID, because the default order by statement arranges the order in the ascending order. So now the details has been arranged in the ascending order. Okay, let's keep it descending as to maintain the flow of the questions. Now let's move to the another question, which is find the total and the average sales from the market table. Okay, so we have to find the total sale and we have to find the average sale. So to attempt this question, the hint is we have to use the aggregate functions. Okay, and for specific aggregate function is we have to do sum and we have to use average. Okay, so you can try to attempt this question and later on see the solution. So what are the aggregate functions? Let's understand what is aggregate function, then we will going to attempt the question. So aggregate function is used to perform calculations on sets of value and returns a specific single result. So it performs calculations on specific on sets of values and returns a single result. Okay, there are number of aggregate functions. Okay, and some of the aggregate functions are count, which counts the numbers. Then we have sum, which gives the sum of the numerical values. Then we have average. Okay, then we have max, which gives the maximum value. Then we have min, which gives the minimum value, and so on. Okay, but here in this question we have to do the sum and the average. So let's attempt this question. Now first of all, see what is the customer, what is the market table look like. So select star from market and let's run this. So we have order ID, product ID, ship ID, customer ID, sales. This is the required column that we have to perform calculation on. This is discount, order quantity, profit, shipping cost, product base margin. Okay, now we have to do the total sales. So first of all, what we will do is we will do it step by step. So as to understand how we are going to do is, first of all, we are only selecting the sales column. So let's run this. It will give the sales column only. Now for this sales column, we will sum the all the sales, all the numerical values. So on running this, we can get that the total sales is 146,71187.904. Okay, this is the total sales. And if we want to get the average sales, we will just use the keyword average. We will give the column in the bracket, and from this we will get the sum sales and the average sales for the total sales. So this is the total sale, which is 146,47,187, and this is the average sale, which is 1,757. Okay, if you see that if you want that there are number of decimal values, and if you want to limit it to 2 decimal or 0 decimal, we can use a round function also. So what we will do is we will give round. So in the round function, if we want only 2 decimal places, if we want our result only limited to 2 decimal spaces, so here we will give round, and here we will give 2 decimals. So this is the value that we want, and this is the number of decimals places we want. So when we run this, here now the decimals has been limited. Okay, now let's see the next question. What is the next question? How many provinces are there in a customer table? Okay, we have to count the number of provinces. Okay, the 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 hint for this question is we have to use two statements or two keywords. First of all, we have to first see the distinct number of provinces that are available in the customer table. Okay, then we have to use the count on that column. Okay, so you can try to attempt this question. We have to use distinct as well as count. We have discussed the aggregate function already, where count is used to perform a calculation on set of values and return a single result, and distinct statement is used to get the unique rows from the table, and it eliminates the duplicate rows. So let's try to attempt this question step by step so as to understand. First of all, we will select everything from our customers table. Okay, so let's run this command. So this is our customer table. Okay, now instead of star, we will select only province. So when we run this, let's run this and arrange in a proper format. So when we run this, we will get only the provinces. Now if we give count directly to the province, suppose if we do the count directly to the province, it will count all the values. Okay, and it will give the number of values or rows available. So there are 1832 rows. However, we want only distinct provinces, so as required in the question. So what we will do, we will count only distinct province. So instead of using only count, we will give count the distinct province. So let's see this query. So here you can see there are 13 distinct provinces available in the customer table. Now what we can do is also we can provide region also. Instead of counting distinct provinces, we can count distinct regions also. So let's see, there are 8 distinct regions and 13 distinct provinces available in the customer table. Okay, so this is the question that we have attempted. We have 13 provinces, and if we see how many unique regions are there, we have already attempted it. We have 8 unique regions. Here also we have used the count statement, and we have counted the distinct regions. Here we have given regions and we have counted this. Now we have to write a query. For the next question, we have to write a query to get the maximum and the minimum sales from the market table. Okay, so we have the market table. As we have already calculated, the total sales and the average sales. However, in this we have to use the aggregate function max and min to calculate the maximum and the minimum sales. So the hint for this question is we have to calculate the maximum and the minimum sales by using max and min keyword. Okay, so let's try to attempt it. It's simple. Now we have to give max sales. So it will give the maximum value of the sales that is available in the table, and it will give the minimum value of the sales that is available from the market table. Here also we can give aliases also, so as to give more readability. Here we can write maximum sales, and here we can write as minimum sales. Okay, now let's see the result for this query. So here we can see that the maximum sales is 89,061.05 and the minimum sales is 2.24. Okay, so this was the question on minimum and maximum. Now let's see another question, that is write a query to find all the customers name whose names begins with A. There are 5 parts to this question. First of all, we want to find the customer names whose name begin with A, contains A. Second is contains A in second place, then contains small h alphabet at the second last place. Fourth is ends with L and contains 4 alphabets, and ends with V, begins with B and ends with A. Okay, so for this purpose we have to understand the wildcards. So the hint to attempt this question is to use wildcards. Wildcards. Okay, so you can try to attempt the question if you know what is a wildcard, and if you don't know, you can see the solution. Okay, so to attempt this question, first of all let's understand what is wildcard. So wildcards are the special characters that are used in conjunction with the like operator to perform pattern matching in string comparisons. Okay, so let's write what is wildcards. So wildcards are the special characters. These are the special characters that are used in conjunction with the like operator. Okay, so like operator is used to perform pattern matching. So it is used for pattern matching in string comparisons. Okay, so they allow you to search for and retrieve data based on the patterns rather than the exact matches. As you know, we have already used equals to sign, which is used for the exact matches, which is used for exact match. However, we don't want exact match. We have to just see what are the values which matches the given pattern in the query. Okay, so what are the keywords, or sorry, what are the wildcards we are available with? Okay, so let's see what are the wildcards that are available. So the first wildcard is %sign. Okay, so what %sign do is %sign represents 0, 1 or multiple characters. Okay, it can be used at the beginning, middle or the end of the pattern to match any sequence of character. Okay, so %sign is used for 0, 1 or for multiple characters. Okay, next we have underscore. So how underscore is used? Underscore is used to match a single character, only single character. Underscore represents only single character. Okay, and it is used to match a single character in a specified position. We will see the use case of these wildcards in just a bit moment when we attempt this question. Okay, also there is underscore wildcard operator. This is also there is square bracket wildcard operator, which is used to specify a character range. Okay, character range. They allow you to match any single character from a specified range. Okay, so let's attempt this question one by one. Let's move to the SQL workbench, and first of all we want the customer names whose name begin with A. So what we will do is we will select all the data from table customer, okay, from the table customer, where now we will give the condition. We will use the where clause, where customer name. So before that we can run this query. Let's run this query only. So this is the customer names. Okay, so where customer name, like is used for pattern matching, so we will use like. And how we will like, we want the names that begin with A, so we will give A. And now we want all the names that begin with A. There is no other condition on the rest of the characters, so we will give percent sign, because it will only match the customer names that begin with A, and it doesn't, and it will fill multiple characters after A. Okay, so when we run this query, let's see what we get the result. Here you can see that the customer, all the customer names are beginning with A. Aaron Bergman, Anne Chong, Adrian Hene, Ellen Barnes, all these values are starting with A. Okay, so this is the first question, that is the customer names that begin with A. Now the next question is to find all the customer names that contains A alphabet at second place. Okay, so what we will do is, let's copy this query and let's paste it here. What we will want is, we want A at the second place. So if we use percent sign and then we will give A, it means that A will be the last character, and before that there can be number of characters, but we want specifically A at second place. So what we will do is we will give underscore. So because underscore represents single character, so it will give values for, it will give customer names of only it will give customer names of only those customers where A is the second character and there is only one character before that. So underscore small a, and after that we can use percent sign, because we want, we don't have any condition after A. So when we will run this query, we can see that here we can see that the in the very French, the A character is at the second position. In Carlos Soltero, here A is the second character. However at the first at the first however at the first position any character can be included. Okay, so this is the solution for the second problem. Third problem is, it want customer names that contains H alphabet at the second last place. Okay, so how we will do this, let's again copy paste the query, and we want customer name like H alphabet at the second last place. So how you are going to do this, we want at the second last place, so let's give H at the place, and we want only one character after the H, so we will give underscore, and before H we can have multiple characters, so this will match percent sign H and underscore, so it will give the names where H is at the second last place. So you can see Ralph Knight have H at the second last place, then Justin Knight is also at the second last plane. In Chuck Shacks we have also H at the second last place. In Stephanie Albright we have also H at the second last place. Okay, now let's attempt the fourth question, that is we want the customer names which ends with L and contains only 4 alphabets. Okay, so how we are going to do is, so to attempt this question that is it ends with L and contains 4 alphabets. So what it wants is, let's select, understand what the question wants. So let's select star from customers. So these are the, it will give all the details of the customer. Okay, so this is the customer name, and what it wants is, it wants L at the last position, and it only wants only 4 characters before that. Okay, so if we see, these are the last names. So first of all, what we have to do is, we have to extract the last names, and after extracting the last names, what we want is, we want those last names where the last name ends with L and it only correct contains 4 characters including L. So what we have to do is, we first of all select everything from the customer table, and here we will use substring index function. So substring index function in MySQL is a straightforward and an effective way to separate a string into parts using a delimiter. Okay, and we know the delimiter between first name and the last name is space. So how we are going to use is, we will give substring index, substring underscore index, and what we will do is, inside the brackets we will give the customer name for which we want to separate it. So we will use customer name. Next, we want what delimiter? We want space as a delimiter, and we want the last value. Okay, so that will give us the last name. Now as we have selected the last name, what we want our pattern to be matched as, we want the L as a last character. Okay, we will give L as a last character, and before that we will give 3 underscores, so that it will match this pattern, that it will only contain 4 characters and the last character will be L. Now if we run this query, so here we can see that Joy Bell has a Joy Bell, George Bell, Erin Mull. These are the customer names which contains only 4 characters in as their last name, and it ends with L. Okay, suppose, as in the question it is not clearly mentioned whether the first name or the last name should end with L. Suppose if we want the first name should end with L and it only contains 4 characters, so what we will do is, we will replace -1 with 1. So it will select the first value from this substring index, which will be the first name. Okay, so let's run this and see what is the result. Here we have been returned with 69 rows. So here we can see that Carl Jackson, Carl Ludwig, and Paul something, Neil Nixon, these are the values that has been written. Here you can see that the first name ends with L, and it has the first name only contains 4 characters. Okay, so this is very important question which involves the use of 2 functions, that is the wildcard characters as well as the substring index. Now the fifth question is, customer name should begin with V and it should end with A. So it's simple. Let's select star from customer, where we want our customer name like, it should start with V, so we will give V as a first character. Now we don't have to use underscore because we want multiple characters between V and A will be our last character. Now if we run this query, we are applying the filter condition for complete customer name, as it has not been asked either for first name or last name. So here you can see there is only one name, however the province and region is different. Victoria Pistaka is the customer whose name starts with V and ends with A. Okay, so these are the questions that are related to wildcards. Okay, now let's see the next question. So the next question is, we have to write a query where we have to count customers in home office and small business. Okay, so there are two conditions that have to be matched. Either the customer should be from home office or either the customer should be from small business. Okay, so there are two ways to do this. Either we can use the or condition, or we can use in statement or in keyword for at doing this question. Okay, so you can try to attempt this question. So in operator, this is the in operator. As we have already know that or is a logical operator which is used to match conditions, which at least which is used to match at least one condition give from the given specified conditions. However, in operator in MySQL is used to specify a list of values and check if a given expression matches from any of the values. So here we will give a list of the values. Here we will give a list of values, and what we will do is we will check whether the expression matches any of these values. So any of these values. Okay, so let's try to do this question in the workbench. So here we will what do is we will select all the customers from the table. Okay, and we will give condition where customer segment, as this is the customer segment. Here we will give the customer segment. Either we can use or in statement. Let's suppose we use in. So we want customer segments in the given specified values. Either it should be home office, home office, or it can be small business, small business. Okay, so if we run this query, let's run this query. So it will give details of only those customers where customer segment is either small business or home office. Okay, these are the small businesses and these are the home office. Now let's see next question. So the next question is, write a query to allot a sales as low, medium and high based on the quantity. So what is the quantity? Suppose the quantity is less than 50, then it should be low. Then it should be low. If the quantity is between 50 and 100, then it should be medium. And if the quantity is greater than 100, then it should be high. Okay, so to attempt this question, the hint is we have to create cases. So we have to use the case statement. Okay, you can try to attempt this question. So case statement in MySQL is a conditional expression that allows you to perform different expressions or different actions based on the conditions. Okay, so on the basis of the cases that we create, we can perform different conditions. It is similar to if statements that are given in Python. Okay, so let's try to attempt this question in Workbench. So what we want to do is we have to select, let's see the complete table. So let's select star from market. So this is the market table and we have order quantity. So what we will do is let's keep star, and here we will create cases. So if case, and when, what we will do is when the order quantity when the order quantity is less than equals to 50, then what it should do, then it should consider it low. Next case statement is when, let's copy paste this, when order quantity is less than, now here it should be greater than 50 and order quantity should be less than 100. So let's remove here 50 equals to sign and let's place it here. So when the order quantity is greater than 50 and the order quantity is less than equals to 100, then it should give medium purchase. Okay, else what it should give, it should give high. Okay, this is our case statement and we will end this case statement. And what name should we give to this column, low, medium, high? We can give it order quantity category. Okay, so let's run this query. Okay, here you can see that we have characterized all the orders on the basis of their quantities. As the value is 23, it is low. For 26 it is also low, and I think all the values are less than 50 only. How can we check it? Let's check it. Okay, so from market, where we will check where order quantity is greater than 50. Okay, let's check it. So I think there is no order quantity which is greater than 50. So what we will do is, let's change it to some less value so that we can get some bifurcations. For less than 20 we can say it's low, for less greater than 20 and less than 40 we can give medium, and else it will be high. So let's run this query, and here now we can see that for greater than 20 it is medium, for less than 20 it is low, and for greater than 40, which is this 43, it is order quantity is high. So here we have understood the use case of case statement. Let's change here also so that it can be remembered later on. So low is for quantities less than 20, medium is for quantities which are greater than 20 and less than 40, and high is for quantities which are greater than 40. Okay, from changing these quantities there is no change in the use case of case statement. So we have understood the use case of case statement. So this was the last question for this beginner level video on SQL interview questions. We have seen some theoretical concepts also related to every statement, and we have also attempted scenario based questions on these beginner level statements or commands on the SQL. Okay, so in the next video we will going to attempt the intermediate level questions using these statements, and also we will introduce some new statements, that is group by, join, and all others also. Okay, thank you.